DJM TV.
Country people, una welcome to DJM TV, Ogbonge Pidgin English news for this week. Me when one nakuna the tori this week, na na country brother again, Stanley Okocha. The name not the change.
DJM TV.
I guess this evening was here before. He's actually the reason we are coming late. When I bring him on, he's going to apologize, please. Osaro Agboinfo Pedro Obaseki, born in December 1960, late 60s, here in Benin City, Edo State, popularly known as Don Pedro, is a playwright, a poet, a screenwriter, film director, international television content provider, seasoned lecturer, and one of the pioneer founders of Nigeria's Nollywood film industry. He served as managing director of DAR Digital Services, DAR-SAT, and executive director of DAR Communications PLC, and was president of the Filmmakers Co-operative of Nigeria. He is the founder and CEO of ACC Broadcast Multimedia Limited, and is currently, Don Pedro, as he's fondly called, is the first son of 5 children and has had his secondary school education at the Unity School, Agbaro. I got that right?
Yeah, Agbaro.
In Warri, Delta State. And his university education at the almighty Uniben, where he obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree, Theatre Arts, and of course Theatre Arts Management. He holds a master's degree in business administration, and he has 2 doctorate degrees, one in performance theory and practice, and of course another one in business administration. He is the convener of the People's Assembly, a socio-economic and cultural group, now a political sub-party. All right, and of course he has about 20,000 registered members, and is married to Uchenna Obaseki. He uses Facebook and Twitter and of course Instagram to interact with his followers. As a 10-year-old kid, Don Pedro presented Children's Time for NTA Benin in 1977. He wrote a story, Days of Rage, which won the National Essay Competition in 1979, which later became a TV series, and was the smallest and youngest member of the crew during the shooting of Things Fall Apart. An erudite scholar, visionary, and speaker, Don Pedro worked as a media art and directing lecturer at the University of Benin for 6 years and 4 months. He is a consultant to both the African Broadcasting Network London and the Kennedy Center, Washington, D.C. He is a prolific writer of plays and poetry, and directed an international television documentary, Oshogbo and Aduni Olorisha, Susan Wenger, with Dr. Adama Lurik of ORB Brandenburg, Berlin, and with Thoroff Lipp, a German documentary filmmaker, and of course a documentary on Adire Batik in 1996. Other works for which he is known for include Igodo, Eziza, Obaseki, Love, Welcome to Nollywood, and of course Azagidi. Dr. Obaseki is a 2-time recipient of the Oba Eridiawa Award for Excellence. That was in 2011 and 2013, and was awarded Nollywood Distinguished Veteran in 2013. He is also awarded an honorary award for service to Nigerian broadcasting at the National Innovation Award, which was in 2015. Don Pedro Obaseki, sir, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
But before I start with the questions, I want you to apologize to our
I'll
viewers.
We are trying to make sure that the elections come and go in a hitch-free manner, and we're caught up in a series of high-level meetings, so I had to run a little wee bit late. I want to apologize to everybody, and this is definitely not in my character. Thank you very much for bearing with me, and I want to thank all the global viewers for bearing with us. It wasn't intended. My most unreserved and most sincere apologies.
Thank you very much.
You're
sir.
welcome, ma'am.
I saw you campaigning in Igbo language a few days ago. That was sometime last week.
Yes.
You speak Igbo?
I speak Igbo.
Any other language that you speak?
I speak French. I speak Hausa. I speak my native Edo, Benin. I speak Esan. My mother is Ora, you know, Owa, you know, so they say you first have to know your mother tongue. So there's nothing like father tongue, so I speak Ora. And I speak Urobo.
You speak Yoruba too?
Yeah, of course I speak Yoruba. I work and live in Lagos for 30, almost 20 years. I went to University of Ibadan, so I still live in Lagos.
So, how are you?
Akoba Jari, and you are looking fine.
Wait, okay. Yeah, Aiki.
Aiki, they go there.
Okay.
Go Allah.
Kedu?
God the man.
Ça va?
C'est très bien. Ça, c'est très bien.
Merci.
Yeah, merci aussi.
Now, okay, so the campaigns are winding down. What has been your impression of the chances of the two main candidates so far?
This is a very interesting campaign. There is absolutely no kind of campaign that has taken place in Nigeria since the return to democracy in 1999 that can be compared, you know, with what has gone down or what is still going down in Edo State. Okay. So, and I watched my candidate, my principal, and the executive governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, speak on one of his outings. And he said this election is a reset button, not only for electioneering in Nigeria, but for Nigeria as a nation. And that is why I think God has placed the Edo people at the epicenter, not only of the politics, but even of the geography of this country and the heartbeat of this nation. So, going forward, our election will be used to calibrate elections going forward in Nigeria and not stopping there, deciding the future of this nation as it is presently constituted. So for me, it is most interesting. I keep telling people that anybody who takes the average Edo voter for granted is just being a wee bit economical with the truth. It's like someone who decides to shut out light and cut his own nose. You know, as I say in Benin, not being where we be, we will be deceiving ourselves. The Edo people are very, very electorally aware, electorally savvy, electorally literate people. And this election has shown it. The campaigning has gone pretty well, and against the shenanigans and the machinations of certain persons who want to brandish us and brand us in lights that are not ours and wear us cloaks that don't belong to us, we have come out greater and better. People thought a few months ago that maybe by now we'll be falling ourselves on the streets of Benin or on the streets of any of our constituent local government areas in a carnage. They are actually shocked that that has not manifest, and it will not manifest by the grace of God. And the Benin people, the Ora people, the Esan people, the Esako people, the Akoko Edo people, everybody who are residing in Edo State will on the 19th. That's why we're 19 on my.
Oh,
yes,
I didn't see that.
As a reminder that 19 is the day that will reset the button for electioneering and democracy in this country.
Now, let's take a look at the campaigns. What are the features that were in this campaign that were missing from other campaigns that be going on?
Mega rallies. That one is a major thing based on the COVID-19 protocols. Normally, what people do in a normal situation, we arranged maybe 2 or 3 mega rallies, each one in each of the senatorial zones, then a very massive mammoth rally, maybe at the stadium. Those are missing. But however, this brought up something better. The governor, for example, because I am directly involved, created a new vista by making sure that he took his campaign from one ward to the other. So he did the campaigns in every 192 ward in Edo State. That is the first time any governor, sitting or ousted. Any governor who had gone through the ballot box, even from the time of Ambrose Ali and Co., had ever done a word-for-word, word-to-word campaign across all the... I mean, that was an epiphany. Nothing has... I've never seen that groundswell. And that is a major difference in this campaign. The other one is not very palatable, and that is the very, very uneducative use of fake news. You know, the only thing they've not done now is create coffins and put people in them as effigies to say people are, you know, the propensity to talk about what does not exist, the degree to which, and this is something that the opposition has perfected so well, but I don't mind, because Adams Oshomole has warned us once upon a time that their candidate has a serious potential for lying effortlessly. And we have seen that come to play in the campaign so far. But the Edo people are very discerning. We know the truth. We can sift the grains from the chaff. And that is what this election has done. This election has thrown up mass participation. And I tell somebody that using the sheer degree of interest, there will be a very drastic upward projectile in the amount of persons who will turn out to vote, because for the first time, this vote is about the people, the people, the people, and the people have become the recurring decimal in the electionary campaign for the 2020 elections, governorship elections in Edo State.
Sir, you will agree with me that some issues have arisen from the campaign so far, most especially as regards the governor's certificate, which the opposition still holds strongly to. Should the Edo people be worried about this?
How can they be worried about it? They should be worried about the opposition's people's certificate. Yeah, they say, you know, you steal a bicycle in Ekewan, and you steal a bicycle and you are running to use your stolen bicycle to Ekewan to look for who stole a fish. It's laughable. What certificate are we talking about? The allegation, I told people on air, I think it was on channels or one of these networks, that I understand Oshomole screaming, saying that maybe the governor, Godwin Obaseki, who is from a family that is not remarkably for education, doesn't have a certificate. It's laughable. But I understand, because he doesn't understand. You know, you cannot recognize that which you didn't go through. I remember clearly in 2012, how that issue between him and Ariabe dovetailed into finding out that the XY governor, he cannot run for any elective office in Nigeria again, and he knows that, did not even have a primary school certificate. So I can understand, he's an enlightened illiterate. That is what he is, an uneducated but enlightened illiterate. So I can understand. I don't want to throw someone else into that. A man, as at the time where there was no JAMB, you know, because Nigerians are not being taught history, many of us think that in those days you just do JAMB. JAMB did not exist until 1978. So nobody got into the universities until the 1980s with JAMB. And I keep trying to educate them. I was a university lecturer. I was a former ASU financial secretary at the age of 27. And the thing is clear, that in those days you get into the university through internal matriculations. So you just do it just the way you just do an exam and you get into the university. You either finish your GCE, and if your papers are not complete, even if they are complete and you don't make the cutoff, you will do HSC, higher school certificate, or which they also had the advanced level, and then you proceed. And the governor had shown clearly that he went to the Institute of ICE, Institute of Continued Education. If not, he was not contesting for governor. So he couldn't have used backyard to enter University of Ibadan. He went to the University of Ibadan. Not stopping there, in 2008, he wasn't governor. The University of Ibadan decorated him as an illustrious alumni of the university. These things are in the public domain. The University of Ibadan went to the extent of taking out paid advertorials in national dailies that, look, this man is a bona fide alumnus of our school. He had an error of eye in his youth service. You don't go for youth service unless you graduate from the university. It is pari passu. One goes into the other. You can't do it by default. You cannot pay to get into that. And they also came out and said, sorry, this error was our error. So where is the education thing a problem? Is actually in the proliferation and the non-verification of the ones submitted by the deputy governorship candidate of the opposition APC in the state. And his own is even graver than the circumstances that led to the annulment of the supposed victory of the APC in Bayelsa State. So that's why I said a lot of persons have been leveraging on fake news in this dispensation. And that is one of the hallmarks of this campaign. But luckily, the Edo people are more discerning. We have a governor who is a graduate of Nigeria's foremost university. We have a governor who is a graduate of first-class Ivy League universities in the United States. And we are still talking about that. Don't worry. Let's wake up and smell the coffee. He is the kind.
We are expecting nothing less than 250 qualified engineers, and some of them are already on the ground. We have people from Benin, we have people even from the Olobo community. The engineers, some of them are from Benin, some of them also are from other states, but majority of them are from Edo State here.
The running mate of the candidate of the All Progressives Congress is entangled in multiple personality scandals as regards the documents he submitted to INEC. Now, do you see this as a playback of what happened in Bayelsa State?
I actually think it's upping the ante. That is a little worse from a legal angle. As a lawyer, I'll tell you straight up that, in fact, the legal entanglement that my friend Gani faces is a lot. I don't even know what his real name is anymore now. You know, is a little even more than that of the Bayelsa State. Now here, Why the Bayelsa State-owned even tried as much as possible to make corrections by having numerous or multiple affidavits. His is different. So in law, unless it is expressly expressed, it is not expressed. That is, you don't imply what that must be expressly expressed. That is, if you are Habiba Oyarehwa, and tomorrow you are now Habib Oyarehwa, and the day after you are now Oyere Yarehwa Habiba, and then you are now, for you to be the same person known to law, you must in a sworn or affidavit aggregate all these and give exponential, expressly expressed reasons, so that you won't see a duplicity or mistaken identity or impersonation. Or so if your name is Habib Oyarehwa, someone
I beg you, if this one then be the first time when you take the watch our video like this, I beg, make you not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel wey be DJM TV, and make you hammer your hand for the notification button, so that once we throw videos like this wey concern our news, you go always dey receive am. Na do well o, odabo as you rabbi people dey talk am.
DJM TV.